This is the Paltalk News Network.
The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you're encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not, no retribution. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. I welcome you to the show. Today we're concentrating on the perfect storm, if you will, of disasters that have been going on in the Pacific, where actually I'm told that the typhoon activity is less than in previous seasons, but certainly enough right now between one typhoon and one earthquake and one tsunami and a second typhoon now bearing down on the Philippines to cause death and destruction for people in the Philippines, in Vietnam, in the Samoan Islands, and in Indonesia, where the United Nations says that the verified death toll is at 1,100, and it's expected there may be as many as 2,000 people that are still trapped under the rubble. In fact, I saw a live report today from Indonesia, and the reporter was standing in some rubble and said, I am in the center of three villages, all of which were totally destroyed in Indonesia. Well, you know, anytime disaster strikes, you can count on the Red Cross to be there. And no matter what kind of a downturn there is in the economy, the good people of the Red Cross globally are there to help. The American Red Cross, of course, is always there for people in the United States, but they also assist in the global effort and have sent money over to help those nations that are not within its jurisdiction, where other Red Cross organizations are taking the lead, and they've sent people over there as well. And here to tell us about those efforts and what you can do to help is Alex Mahoney, who heads the American Red Cross disaster relief efforts in the Pacific. Alex, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Thank you very much.
Well, we're really glad to have you here with us. Try to paint a picture for us, if you would, sir, about how widespread and the magnitude of all these events is, and how difficult it is to for the relief organizations, the Red Cross and others, to be able to get to so many people in so many different environments at the same time.
Sure. Well, I think the words you used to describe this perfect storm really kind of sums up the week that we've had, starting with last weekend when this typhoon hit the Philippines, causing incredible levels of damage in very highly populated areas, including Manila. It carried on towards Vietnam, where it also affected more than 3 million people. It left 450,000 people displaced from their homes. While that was going on, there was a huge earthquake, 8.3, off the coast of Samoa and American Samoa, causing quite extensive damage in both. And then, of course, there was the earthquake off the coast of West Sumatra in Indonesia, which is the most recent disaster that we've been dealing with. And the latest death toll from that is over 1,000, 1,100. I'm afraid that figure will probably continue to rise as search and rescue continues. In terms of getting to these populations to provide assistance, the Red Cross is actually, they're on the ground in all these countries. They're already there. They've been working with communities on disaster preparedness So, for example, in the Philippines, they helped people with evacuation with the onset of the typhoon, and they've helped rescue people. They've helped provide basic necessities to people. They're doing the same in Vietnam, also in Samoa and in Indonesia.
Now, of course, the good news about the typhoon, if there's any good news, it's bearing down on the Philippines. The second one, the super typhoon, as they're calling it, is we've gotten pretty good at tracking these things, and the Philippine government, under extreme criticism for its handling of the first typhoon that hit last week, is doing a great job, as far as I can see, evacuating people from the south to the north. They want to get them as far north, at least to Manila, and perhaps even further north to get them out of harm's way, and people are heeding the evacuation warning, thank goodness. In the case of the tsunami, however, there really wasn't much warning at all. I'm told 4 to 7 minutes by the time they recognized that the tidal wave was coming to the time they were able to alert the people by ringing the church bells.
Yeah, there's been a lot of progress in awareness of what to do with a tsunami. If there's an earthquake along the coast, people have much higher awareness now since the 2004 tsunami, which killed hundreds of thousands of people. But still, if something strikes that close off the coast and the wave just takes a few minutes to get to land, there's just people that aren't going to have time to get away.
So how difficult is it for the relief organizations such as the Red Cross and others to get to all of these locations? You indicated that the Red Cross has been fortunate enough to have people on the ground in each of these countries that have been affected, but I've got to imagine that it does tax the efforts of the disaster preparedness community when you have so many events happening in such close proximity to one another, both in terms of time and region.
Right. Well, in each of these countries, the National Red Cross Society they're an independent entity. So they're there, they prepare. We work with them between disasters as American Red Cross, supporting them. So there's already some capacity on the ground to respond. It does take time to mobilize an international effort to support that, but we have the structures in place to make that happen quickly. Logistically, though, on the ground to get to people, for example, in Indonesia right now, roads are damaged, communication lines are down. They've gotten to the main urban areas, but there are real concerns about the villages outside Padang. Some of those are hard to reach. It's also hard to reach people that are